Welcome, 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 welcome to the Mind Funk Podcast. Yay! welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking your time out to hang out with me. It really means a lot to me. Thank you, and welcome. My name is wonu Alishe, and sometimes I do go by Amazing Soul. Welcome to the Mind Fuck Podcast. And FCK stands for fun, compassion, and kindness. and Before I get into today's episode, which I'm pretty excited about, I always like to start each episode with a list that I titled Reminders to Being Human. It's very at the core of what I do, and I feel like we all need reminders in our journey. So this list that I put together serves as a reminder to me, and the intent is that it also serves as a reminder to you as I read it out every time on the show. All right, let's get into it. Reminders to being human. Have fun along the journey. Show yourself compassion. Be kind to others. Being complex and being simple can hold true in the same breath. Stay curious. Hold space for pauses. Hold space for not knowing. Never underestimate the power of silence. Nature has a lot of wisdom. Pay attention. There is power in we than I. If nothing else makes sense, my friend, come back to love. Pain is our greatest teacher. And the very last one, never underestimate your ripple of existence. All right. Now let's get into the fun part of the show. All right. I want to start with something very honest on today's episode. You see, for a long time of my journey, I really truly believed that healing was about effort. It was about discipline. It was about fixing myself, about figuring out what was wrong and correcting it. That's what I thought for a long time. I actually thought healing was something you did to yourself. And if I'm being really honest, that mindset quietly turned my healing journey into another job, another performance, another place where I judged myself, another space where I felt behind. You see, I didn't call it self pressure back then. No, I called it doing the work. And for so many years, I approached my nervous system like a problem to solve. And I'll tell myself things like, Wanu, why am I anxious? Why am I tired? Why do I keep reacting this way? Why can't I just calm down? And my favorite, why can't I just be normal? And every sensation in my body became something to analyze, or something to eliminate. And also, if I felt tension, I tried to relax it. If I felt fear, I tried to override it. If I felt emotional, I tried to regulate it right away. And without realizing, I was still fighting myself, just with a better language. You see, what I did not understand yet was this: healing doesn't begin with control. No, it begins with curiosity. And for me, curiosity was the piece I was missing. I mean, literally being open minded. See, let me tell you what healing looked like for me before curiosity entered the picture. You see, I had awareness, I had insight, I had the vocabulary, but and I could also explain my patterns. I mean, I could trace my patterns back to my childhood. I could name the trauma responses. I could tell you exactly why my nervous system did what it did, right? I could do all that good stuff. But my body didn't feel safer. It actually felt watched. I mean, my body felt observed, monitored, being constantly corrected. That's exhausting. And there's a big ass difference between being supported and being surveilled. My nervous system didn't need another supervisor. No, it just needed a witness. That's it. Just hold space for myself. And at that time in my life, I didn't realize how harsh my inner tone was. It sounded calm on the surface, but underneath it was demanding. I mean, I'll tell my stuff things like, "Why are you still tense, Wonu? You should be past this by now. You know better, Wonu. You've done enough work not to react like this." I think that was my favorite. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't kind either. I was simply efficient. You see, the shift to curiosity didn't happen all at once. No, it actually happened in small, almost forgettable moments. Moments where something inside of me got tired of trying so damn hard. You see, I remember one night very, very clearly. I had woken up in the middle of the night again, and my body was wired, my body was alert. I felt tightness in my chest. And during those times, normally that's where my spiral will start. Yeah, the frustration of how I don't get enough hours of sleep, the self-talk, the mental math of how tired I will be tomorrow. I mean, the judgment for not being able to sleep like a normal person, whatever the fuck that meant at that point. But that night, something different happened, right? Instead of trying to force sleep, I literally sat on my bed and I asked myself a different question. I did not ask, "What's wrong with me?" But instead, I asked, "What's happening right now?" Do you see the difference? There was no accusation, no urgency, just curiosity, right? And I noticed my breath. In that moment, it was very shallow. My heart was beating really fast. I noticed some clenching in my jaw. And I started to just notice my thoughts, right? The thoughts that were on loop. I was scanning, my nervous system was scanning, preparing for danger that wasn't even there. And for the first time, I wasn't trying to change any of it. I just started noticing. I just noticing what I was doing, observing myself. It was like I was meeting my nervous system instead of managing it. That's what that felt like. And something subtle but important shifted for me that night. My body did not calm down instantly, no, but it softened just a little. I'm very big on baby steps. And that's when it clicked for me, my light bulb moment. My nervous system did not need fixing. No, it needed permission to be seen without consequences. That's what I needed in that moment. You see, my friend, curiosity does something very fucking powerful to your body. It removes threat. When you are curious, you're not trying to escape. You're not trying to suppress. You're not trying to dominate what's happening in real time in your body. No, you're simply saying to your body and your nervous system, I'm here with you. And for a nervous system shaped by years of pressure, expectation, and downright survival, that alone is regulating. I started experimenting with curiosity for me, in everyday moments, not in big emotional breakthroughs. But in ordinary, boring moments. I mean, for example, when I felt irritated, instead of asking myself, why am I like this? I would ask, what is my body reacting to right now? Right? When I felt exhausted, instead of pushing through, I would ask, where am I spending energy without realizing it? Right? Or when I felt resistance, instead of forcing motivation, I would ask myself, what feels unsafe about this moment? Now, these questions weren't meant to produce answers immediately. No, far from it. They were questions meant to create space, right? And here is something important I want to point out. Curiosity isn't passive. No, it's active presence without agenda. It's engagement without force. It's genuinely listening without trying to fix what you hear. That is curiosity. You see, one of my most surprising places curiosity changed things for me was in my patterns. I used to get so frustrated with myself for repeating the same behaviors. Same reactions, same emotional loops, same relational dynamics. I used to get very upset with myself. And I thought awareness alone should make them stop, but awareness without curiosity just literally turns into self-criticism, right? So instead of asking, myself, why am I doing this behavior again? I started asking, what does this pattern protect me from? And honestly, that question changed everything for me, right? I started to, realize that my patterns were not flaws. No, they were strategies to protect me. They were outdated, yes. Sometimes inconvenient, absolutely. But once they made sense, they kept me safe. They helped me adapt. They gave me control when I did not have it. It's all perspective, my friend. And when I saw them through the eyes of curiosity instead of judgment, they didn't need to fight to stay. They could just relax. Literally relax by observing myself. This is something that no one really tells you about healing. Your nervous system doesn't release patterns when you shame them. No, no. It releases them when it trusts you. Trust is the key word. And trust is built through curiosity. Not overnight, layer by layer. I also noticed how curiosity changed my personal relationship with discomfort. You see, before, discomfort meant something was wrong. Now, in my life, discomfort means information, feedback. A signal, a message, a data point, not a failure. Do you see the difference? Right? If my chest feels tightened, I didn't immediately try to breathe it away. No. I will literally notice when it shows up. I will start to become aware what I'm thinking, what environment I'm in, who I was around. I mean, just notice what's happening without trying to fix it. And over time, patterns emerge naturally. Not because I hunted them down, no, but because I gave my body room to speak. And I will tell you something powerful. Curiosity slowed me the fuck down. And I will tell you that was uncomfortable as fuck at first because slowing down meant feeling things I had been outrunning for so many years. But curiosity made those feelings less overwhelming, right? And it also added gentleness to the process, softness. That is the power of curiosity, my friend. I'll also share this. Here's a part that really surprised me. Once curiosity became my default, regulation followed without me trying to make any efforts. It blew my mind. I wasn't trying to calm myself. I wasn't trying to be grounded. I wasn't chasing a regulated state. No, my body just simply adjusted because it finally felt like it wasn't being judged. Do you see? I will say this. Healing did not become easier, but it became kinder. And kindness, my friend, changes how the nervous system responds. That is key. If you're listening to this and you feel stuck in your healing, right? If you feel like you know a lot, but you don't feel different, if you feel like you're tired of trying to fix yourself, I want to offer this gently. What if, just what if, nothing is wrong with you? What if your nervous system doesn't need another technique, but a different relationship, right? What if? Just sit with that. You see, my friend, curiosity isn't about figuring yourself out. No, it's about staying with yourself, even when things are messy, even when things are slow, even when nothing, in quote, seems to change, especially when nothing seems to change. That is the power of curiosity. So today, in my life, when I notice tension, fear, or resistance, I don't rush to correct it. No, I get fucking curious. And every time I do this, my body learns the same lesson, right? Like I'm allowed to exist as I am while I change. And that's, my friend, that's when healing actually happens. If this resonates with you, sit with this question today, my friend, right? What would shift if I met myself with curiosity instead of correction? Let that be enough. Let that be the practice, my friend. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And from my heart to yours, I am sending you so much love on your journey. Thank you.